names. Rob's friend, Barry.
Oh, right. Barry was
the
there.
guy. Barry was on the 45, I believe. Yeah, that was a fun ride, wasn't it? I don't want to tease you because I know you broke down, but I don't think you were the only one. I had a couple of things happen too. And Tom Banks, were you there when Tom Banks' battery melted?
Yeah. The funny thing is you all have these old bikes that were like 40, 50 years older than mine. I have this modern FXR. I'm the one that broke down.
Oh, we should show some pictures. I know. Yeah, I really remember. I know. I felt bad for you. What was it? I can't remember. Something not good, was it? It was something weird. I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, but let's talk about you getting into motorcycle journalism. How did that start?
Well, like I said, I had joined the motorcycle club. I guess it was in 2000, and I was tasked with the job of getting us some press coverage. Our club had done its first charity run, and we wanted to prove that we were, positive influence in the community. We were helping people and all that, because people kind of look sideways at us in Newark. So I didn't know anything. I called the Newark Star Ledger and I said, hello, could you send a reporter and a photographer down to cover this? And they're like, no, we don't do that. So I started calling different motorcycle magazines, and they either didn't do that kind of story or, I had no idea how this stuff worked. They didn't have anybody in the area. I called Thunder Press, the editor at the time, Kim, and I asked her about coverage, and she said, well, why don't you write it up and take photographs and we'll run it? Okay, that's what I did. It ended up on the cover 2, but it was still the cover. And she's like, that was great. When are you doing another one? So that's how it started. I just started contributing to Thunder Press, and I started contributing to other magazines as well. There was a local magazine called East Penn Biker. I worked with Fastlane Biker, just a bunch of magazines in those early years. But
that's fun. And it's like once you start doing it, you're like, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I mean, 20 years later, I still get a kick out of opening the magazine and seeing my articles in there. I don't know.
Sure, that never gets old. I know. So how do you think it's changed from when you started to it is now for women in the motorcycle journalism field?
There were some women, Genevieve was heavily involved. My friend Trish Zaleski from former American Iron magazine. I actually did not see a woman ride a motorcycle until I was living in New York City, and I was in my 30s. That's the first time I ever saw a woman ride a motorcycle. I didn't know it was done.
Wow. And then you remember what you felt like, what? If she could do that, so could I, right?
It kind of ended up like that a couple years later. Yeah.
Sure.
But what the major change from then to now is the state of the industry, of course. When I started riding and started contributing to Thunder Press, the industry was flying high. That was the salad days. There was tons of money. Money was flowing like water. These elaborate press launches and these parties. And do you remember how the V-Twin Expo, we would get like prime rib and shrimp and all this stuff for everybody that was there. There were, I don't know how many motorcycle manufacturers, production motorcycle manufacturers. And I thought that's the way it was. And I thought it would last forever. But, between the dot-com bubble burst and the early 2000s, and then the housing and subprime mortgage stuff, and then the recession, really affected not only the motorcycle industry, but publishing. I mean, it was in lockstep, what happened there. So things are leaner and meaner now, but there's still a lot of fun to be had.
It's there because now we have formats like this. We've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, and the social media has definitely changed. In my opinion, has changed the way we motorcycle industry people can network and meet other people. And there's so many. I think there's just so many more events now too. But
one thing though, in all this, it's become much less sustainable for the individuals in the industry, like at our level, let's say at the contributor level for photographers and writers, journalists, and you look at that shift from print to digital, and the business model that they use really does not pay much attention to the contributors. It doesn't value contributors very much. Would you agree, Marj?
Um,
Or what do you
let's
think about
just,
that whole area?
Yeah, good question.
like you said, anybody can be a contributor now, pretty much. I mean, depending on the venue, of course, depending on the outlet. But there are a lot of people willing to do it for free, and that kind of adversely affects our livelihood. And I'm not sure that people are looking for the same kind of quality that they did when looking at the printed word. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but it's like the standards seem to have changed. But it is more accessible. It's more participatory, so that's a plus. Anything to get people involved in motorcycling is cool.
I think so too. I think it's more people can be reporters, more people can do videos and communicate. I think that part of it I kind of like.
Right.
But less people will be able to make a living at it.
That
Like,
part
I don't know how a photographer or writer starting out who wants to make a career of it. I think it's going to be less career oriented. And then at the same time, there's a positives and negatives to all this, because in one sense you could say, boy, everybody gets to participate, everybody's voice gets heard.
Right.
But then on the other side, it's not curated. I mean, the whole idea of a newspaper magazine is you have editors, and editors curate, and they kind of know quality and they put that together. But it's not very egalitarian, but it is quality driven. So any thoughts on that, Marj?
Well, there's also a lot of misinformation out there, because, as you said, there's not as careful editing, and a lot of it is a lot of what's out there is clickbait, and kind of have to be careful of what you're reading and consider your sources. So, yeah. Yeah,
it has come a long way. I remember reading Cyril Hughes's blog, and he was really at the forefront of a lot of this. You get a little email every morning in your inbox, and you know what's going on in the industry. And I love Cyril. I really miss him.
I miss Cyril too, and I miss his blog. I think he did a good job with that.
Well,
you could get it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, he either had firsthand knowledge or was there on the scene, or he had people that were there. There's a lot of news aggregators out there now that just kind of things get repeated and copied and distributed and all that. So yeah, but I still there are magazines out there that are still really super at their presentation as well as their content. Meta is one. That magazine is very cool. Of course, Meta, Cycle Source, but that goes without saying.
Of course, Cycle Source, yeah.
Meta is really representative of a new style of media that's coming out, or a new style of print media. Cycle Source represents a new style of taking the old media and trying to make it more relevant by offering more outlets and more, they offer this whole video side, or this whole multicasting side, in addition to Facebook Live and their movies and things like that. And it is pointed out by Chris Callan. He mentioned that, the big change he thinks for Cyril was with social media, that prior to that, he was king. He ruled it in terms of information. But once Facebook and social media came out, things got, it's like, what was the term you used? News aggregators? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a sense, every person with a smartphone is a news aggregator. I'm going to have to quote you on that, Marj.
Well, the other thing that's changed
unedited
too,
and unfiltered.
Yeah.
The other thing that's changed too is that there used to be strict delineation between job categories, between functions. You had the writers, you had the photographers, you had the editors, you had the art people, you had the film people, and in a lot of instances, we kind of do it all now. That
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
So,
not only asked, it's expected. I know I'm doing more and more writing, and again, like you say, you have to do the right words
Yeah,
and,
wait a
and
minute. You're taking
photography.
all those writers' jobs.
I know exactly, but
yeah.
I don't say I'm a good writer, and I'd much rather somebody else wrote to go with my photos and put their.
You're
I
a great
really,
writer. No, you're a great writer.
I
You
really
got it. You got it
appreciate.
all.
No, I really appreciate great writers, and I wish that they got paid for that part of the job
Mhm.
and put that spin in, and I could focus on mine. It's like I've been asked to do video, and I even went to video school and did all that, and I did some videos and documentaries, and they came out quite well. And then I finally said, I don't really want to do this. It's not who I am,
Oh.
and so I didn't do it. And now, even that was 20 years ago. Now it's really expected, and I'll probably die without going there. That could be my demise. But well, no,
Yeah.
because you are expected, and I know, Marj, you do video also, but it's like if I do
Okay.
video, I'm going to want to go whole bore. I'm going to want to do the whole
Mhm.
thing and do it really, really well, and I just can't do it all well.
Hey, let's take a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll show some photos. We'll talk about things you've done and things you want to do, and we'll catch up. Okay? Can we do
Yep.
that, you guys? I think we
Sounds
gotta.
great.
Okay.
Okay. See you in a minute.
My name's Patrick Maloney. Most all my friends call me Mo. I liked motorcycles and hot rods long before I could drive. I remember looking out the window of the family car when I was a kid, and my mom would see me eyeballing that guy on a Harley and just knowing it was just burning her up. I never had a street bike until I joined the Navy. The Navy was cool. We always had a group of guys. All the guys on the ship that rode Harleys always hung out together. I remember getting off the ship with snow on the ground in Virginia, and the first place I went was right up to that knucklehead and fire it up. Never gave it another thought. A lot of times I didn't have a car. That's how I got into biking. 6 months later, I bought another one. Probably another 6 months later, I bought a knucklehead rolling chassis with a pair of chrome Invader wheels on it and a Jocklid 4-speed transmission, candy red over gold. Right in the middle of a trailer park, I found a knucklehead motor. Bought that motor for $350 in 1982. This isn't just my garage, this is my living room. My name's Patrick Maloney, and I'm a Dennis Kirk garage builder.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. The race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
All right, we're back. Wow, awesome. I love our commercials. We have such cool.
We do. Well, I'll tell you, that was great S&S. Thank you. And Torque Performance. And
Yeah, I got
I
that
tell
new
you,
show coming up. The Torque show's coming up Thursday night. We'll talk about it later. but-
first one, absolutely. And then that Dennis Kirk, that garage builder. Wow,
Mhm.
that was a beautiful bite. That little chopper he had in there. That was
Yeah.
gorgeous. They're doing some great stuff with that. And I think their support of garage building is really
Yeah.
wonderful.
Definitely.
Anyway, so
All right. Let's
back
show
to the
some
show.
pictures. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go back. Let's go back.
Let-
Marge, are you there? Let's look at your
let's
photos.
bring Marge and bring some photos up.
There you are. So the first photo I just love of you. I know that's Michael's photo, right? Is that from Sturgis? I want to say Sturgis. When was that? When you guys-
That
Yeah.
is Sturgis.
Did you
Yeah.
say that?
That's when I
Yeah.
crashed the Easy Riders party.
Oh, you crashed it. I was invited by Mike, but he crashed.
Well,
He had me
Mike
pulled in.
invited me too. So, but I didn't get an invite from Pepper, so I consider it crashing.
Well, you
That was
got
a
your
fun
picture
party.
taken anyway, right?
Yeah. This is one of my favorite photos of me.
Well, thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you,
a
Michael.
good photo. Yeah, it's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
I like that shot. Yeah, I was doing a lot of portraits that night at that Easy Riders party. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, let's roll
Yeah.
through some more stuff.
Yeah,
See
your
what we got.
Thunder Press. Yeah. So
Well, this
how
is-
long were you the editor of Thunder Press? So
Well,
you had
I
some
was the
different jobs.
editor. I was
Mhm.
editor of the East and the North edition for like 9 years, and then I became editor in chief in 2017
Wow.
to 2019, and 2019 is when I left. So this photo is when we were celebrating 25 years, which was how many years ago? 1, 2, 3,
Yeesh.
4 years ago, I guess it was. Yeah, 3-4 years ago.
Mhm.
And on the 2 is Robert Fila, and on the 5 is Terry Rorta. You know, we were the three musketeers. Terry had been editor in chief, and Robert was editor in the South. I was editor in the North, and we just kind of went everywhere all over the country and just had a blast. I mean, so many stories. I don't know if I should tell any of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Well,
great.
I was witness to some of those in your wonderful little Florida bungalow right off Main Street. I love
Oh, that's
that
right.
house.
Right. Michael was our housemate there. Michael's been our housemate in Sturgis.
Hey, wait, Michael was our housemate too. Gloria and I. We've shared a couple of condos. and houses.
I crash actually that time with Marge, it was really pretty funny. I remember talking to Marge and I was telling you how depressed I was. I had this hotel room that was so frigging depressing. You walk in, it was like 4 white walls. There was nothing on the walls. It was just a bed, and it was $300 a night. And I'm going like, why am I doing this to myself? I said, Marge, you got any room? She said, well, if you don't mind the couch. So I literally left that hotel room at $300 a night and slept on the couch next to the full moon. Remember that, Marge?
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
Oh my
We were
goodness, till 2 in the
serenaded.
morning,
we were
right?
Serenaded
And
to sleep.
then he made his
until
hard-boiled eggs and his yogurt. And he had some
Yep.
carrots.
I
Yeah.
did. That's right. I did that for them too. You should have seen Robert Fila looking at this and going, "What the f am I supposed to do with this? This you call plain yogurt breakfast? Not for a
As
Texan."
Robert was making his breakfast burritos with hot sauce, right?
That's right. There you
Yeah.
go.
Michael makes excellent yogurt, I could tell you that.
I know.
So,
I've had his
Michael-
yogurt. It's good. He's a good
Michael,
yogurt
I don't
cooker.
know,
There's
where
Marge hard
was-
at work.
where was this? Because I don't remember.
It's in Daytona, and it was, I think, an Indian unveiling, I believe.
Oh,
at
that
a
was
hotel.
another thing I crashed.
Yeah, and I like that shot because it's like this whole. What do you call it when you get a whole group of photographers like that? I know there's names for every kind of
Sounds like a
bird.
joke.
Yeah, it should be, I guess. Whatever, but you're in the
A
thick of
murder
it, but you're right.
crows? I don't
You're right
know.
front and center there.
I don't know.
Do you,
But
do you-
yeah, that
Is
was
that like
that
a
was-
gaggle or a?
yeah, like a gaggle, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was fun. That was a
That's
lot of fun.
fun.
That was right on the beach. That party.
You know, I kind of miss all that hype, right? What about you, Marge?
I totally miss it. I totally miss all those parties. I do.
Yeah.
And it was great for doing business too, not only socializing and fun and partying and all that, but that's where things got done. It's like any other profession,
Mhm.
you know, the handshake deals and the hanging out and the bonding with
Yeah.
people and getting to know them like that.
It is.
It's not from
We
picking
call
up
that the
phone.
schmooze. It's the schmooze at the water cooler, but it's really an event. You know, that's where you meet people and you make
It
friends
is,
that you
yeah.
for life, really.
Right.
Yeah. So
You know, it's interesting how you said how great things were for a while in the industry back in the 2000s, prior to the economic crash. And you used some examples. My example that really portrays that, it made me think of it the way you said, this is where you do business, was you'd be in the bars at night at these industry functions, particularly like in Cincy or V-Twin Expo, and you'd be in the bar at the hotel, and everybody was tripping over each other to buy each other drinks. Competitors buying competitors' drinks, right? That's how good it was. Would you agree there, Marj?
Yep.
It's friendly. Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun because it was a win-win for everybody got along because there was enough to go around.
That's right. So I think I think we still can do that. I think we're still going to meet at Sturgis. Are you going to go to Sturgis, Marj?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And there is my Ruby. That's my Sportster, my very first motorcycle. And that photo was taken either in probably 1999. It was probably taken in 99. And that was the house where my mom used to live. My sister was living there at the time. And I rode, that was my big trip, 100 and some miles from Hoboken to Kingston, Pennsylvania. That was a huge
trip.
You
had to stop for gas, right?
Trip. What's that?
You had to stop for gas once?
Had to stop for gas. Yep. 3.4 gallon tank. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, we have some more photos. I love all these. There's a really good, cool group photo. That one. Oh, there you go. There's your, what we call that, Mike?
No name. Sorry. I don't do it anymore.
Call that photo, like the glam shot.
The shot. No, just the shot.
That was one of the Great Lakes, maybe Lake Superior. That was my first ride to Sturgis. I think it was 2003. And we started out with 3 of us, and we picked up 2 more guys along the way and just kept riding together.
I know more about this. You picked up 2 more guys?
Yeah, we were at a gas station in Pennsylvania, and I was in this forum before Facebook. I think even before Yahoo groups. It was called Sportster.org, the XL list. I met people from all over the world on that list. It was fabulous, and I saw Sportster, and it had a tour pack on the back and refrigerator lines and New York license plate. And I said to myself, that looks like Brooklyn. There's a guy named Christopher who became a Thunder Press contributor. So cool. And Chris had CF, and he had to keep his medications cold. And so he had a tour pack rigged up as a refrigerator so that he could travel cross country. He wasn't going to let anything stop him. Stop him at all. He needed whatever that medication was to live. So we invited Chris to ride along with us. And then somewhere in Ohio, we ran into a guy, started talking to him. The guy was going to go camp out, and he had no sleeping bag, no tent, no anything. He just got on his bike one day from Long Island. He worked for a Harley dealership. He decided to ride to Sturgis. So he became part of our ragtag entourage. And
cool. What's this next photo that we have with this group? Is this somebody was this a group that you rode with, or is this your motorcycle nights?
Yep. This is it's mostly Iron Knights here. And that's the bread man in front. 3 of the guys in that photo have passed away, but
oh man,
yeah. One guy, he's not in the club. I don't see him anymore. But we stayed in Custer that year, which was awesome because Custer has its own little rally.
Did you do some camping too? That's what's in the next photo. Is this some camping?
We camped all the way out there and all the way back.
Wow, there you go. Nice.
This photo was in the Jersey Pinelands in South Jersey, in the Pine Barrens.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
And then I see the next one of you riding, and then I'm not sure what that is. That a bike launch or something that you did there?
Yeah, that's. I think that's the lowrider. I don't know, 7-8 years ago maybe, and that was a very nice Harley Davidson launch. Riding through mountains and everything. So I'd send it. I have a million of those shots, all different bikes. That was one of the fun parts.
Sure.
One of the most fun parts of the job was getting to test ride and review all the new motorcycle models. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's not going to go away. You're still going to be able to get to do that.
Well, who are you contributing for now, Marj?
Cycle Source primarily. I was contributing to American Iron magazine, and I had a column there along with Chris. You know, they
Right.
were rotating
Yes.
columns
Mhm.
right up until they closed down. Which I mean, I really, that was such an outstanding magazine. I really missed that magazine. You know, what a
Okay.
loss.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. There's definitely a void, I think, for that. But you know, there's some good like I said, you know, Cycle Source. There's some good magazines.
There's
Well, I
just not
started
that many
working-
left.
Yeah.
And
There's not.
actually,
I started
and I
working
think we
with
said in
Buzz.
I'm sorry, we said in the last show that the Enthusiast is now only going to print once a year. So
No.
I thought we
Yeah.
said that in the last show. Maybe we
I
didn't.
can't
But
remember what said
yeah,
that.
so from 4 times a year, or it was 5 for a while, and they did 800,000 copies. So I mean, you're talking, this was a big print magazine, and gone.
Definitely.
they're doing
The history
quarterly-
behind that magazine too, you know, 1916, right? The first
Yeah.
enthusiast.
That's right.
And the first article in the first enthusiast was written by
Oh God, you did this test already. Don't test
You
my
don't remember?
memory. Oh God, I forgot.
Anthony
that.
Hodgkiss.
Let's let our
Oh,
viewers
God,
guess.
My goodness, Effie.
These are clapping. Yay! Don't
Wait a
talk.
minute. This was the first article in the magazine. The
Written
first.
by, yeah, apparently
first
it was written
issue.
by Anthony Hodgkiss. Yeah, 1916.
Okay.
Wow.
And a woman moto-journalist. See? We've always
you go.
been here, Marge.
Was
is
that about her
awesome.
trip?
It was about her trip. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a copy of it somewhere. I'm going to dig it out somewhere and show you guys.
Yeah, I want to
So
see it. Absolutely.
The enthusiast is going to be quarterly online, except for that one print time a year, like you said. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I started working with American Iron magazine. Oh my God, like in 2003, maybe 2004, and they
Right.
had a trade magazine for a couple of years. So I was the first editor of American Iron Retailer. It went to all the independent motorcycle shops and
Oh,
other
right.
businesses.
I remember
So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And what
Very
a great
cool.
crew that was, working with Chris Maida and Joe Knezovic,
Mhm.
Sam Whitehead, and Trish.
Trish.
Matt.
Definitely got to
That
get
was-
Trish back on the show for sure. And I'm looking at this next picture. You got to ride the live wire probably before a lot of people. Was this in New York when they had it in New York?
Yeah, that was the very first. That was the
Mhm.
very first leg of their tour. It was at Harley Davidson in New York City, and I think Buzz and I were the only two motor-journalists there. Everybody else there was reporting for mainstream magazines, Esquire and Car and Driver, and all that stuff, because that's Harley Davidson wanted mass appeal for that. So yeah, so
Right.
that bike was a prototype, like a working prototype, and the live wire that's out there now is quite a bit different, actually. So
Have you written the new one, the production model?
yeah, it's different. Yeah.
How did you like them? How would you describe it to people who've never ridden an electric?
I had never ridden an electric before, and it was weird not having a clutch to feather going around corners and slow down and everything. But the acceleration was just shocking. Haha, pun, get that?
Yeah, I get that. And it probably has really good brakes too.
But did you love it?
It would have taken me a while to get used to it, because we were riding around the streets of New York City. Okay, so it was a guided ride, and it was like maybe 15 or 20 minutes. So I would have liked to have spent a lot more time with it, but I could have liked it a lot. I mean, it had a lot of nice features. I love the idea of the electric bikes to give people options. So
Sure, why not? Have you ridden it, Michael?
I have not, and I would love to.
You and I are the only ones who haven't.
I know, I can't believe it. Yeah, I've been around it so much. I've actually done.
Yeah.
I've photographed people riding it where we went out purposely to shoot somebody riding the live wire, and I've just never had the opportunity to jump on it. And what's the story? Are they going to be making it much longer or not?
I think they will. Yeah. I think
Marj,
they
what do
will.
you think?
I
That's
think
what I
they will.
think.
I think they will, and I think they'll expand it. Do you remember when it was first announced? They had a number of other bikes that they announced as well for future years, and that's kind of been put on the back burner. I don't exactly know what's going on, but there were supposed to be, I think, 2 more electric bikes, like more priced more friendly, friendlier pricing. But they started out with their top of the line model. So
And it was and a lot of money right there.
We'll see where they go. I know they just introduced the Icon motorcycle.
Hey, listen, I was just going to bring that up for you guys.
Your old '69 shovelhead?
What do you got for us, Chris Callan?
I was just gonna bring that up, and I don't know if I can find anything fast enough for you guys to talk about it. But dude, talk about one of the most and I look at stuff that Harley does with a critical eye. This is one of the most exciting things that they've done. Like what it sounds like they're doing with the Icon platform is really, really cool. We're actually going to have somebody come on from Harley next week on Shop Talk, or this week, and talk about this. But yeah,
awesome.
What a cool idea, man.
Okay, give us a little bit. Give us a paragraph. Tell us something.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can really expand on it yet, but like when you look at this picture,
no. What is it? Zoom in there. What is that?
So this is
looks like a panhead.
Yeah, this is their idea is that and I don't have actual text to go on in talking about this, but the idea is to have sporadic releases of iconic motorcycle designs. So, going back to old, like this could be a panhead or a shovel head sitting there. I can't wait to see what you imagine through the whole history of Harley Davidson, the design interpretations that they could come out with like this would be insane.
Oh yeah, it's coming from someone who loves vintage motorcycles as much as I do.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut in on your show. I just I was so excited about that today. I got to talk to Jen Hoyer about the program, and I was just like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like it's so cool they're doing something like that. Like Chris said, for us, for the old bike nuts.
Oh my goodness, that's what I need to ride backwards on for the
there you go.
chasing the cannonball.
Oh geez, yeah.
At least it'll have a little vintage feel for shooting the vintage bikes, right?
There you go.
Rob, so let's look at Marj. Said they need to knuckle down. What do you think?
Very good.
Actually,
we'll knuckle down.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we gotta get the 69 shuffle look. Let's look back at Marj's photos again. I love this one of you working on your bike.
Yeah, let's go back to some more pictures here.
There's Bill Dodge, and there's one of you in Bill Dodge I really like too.
Oh, that's wait, which one? Okay, that's me. That's me changing the front motor mount under the tutelage of Rob.
The tutelage.
Yeah.
The tutelage.
That's my FXR. Yeah. So those rubber gloves lasted about 10 minutes until I just tore them off and threw them on the ground. I tried to do it right.
Yeah, I can't do that either. I gotta get dirty.
Yeah. But it's like the bike's amazing because it's pretty easy to work on compared to like my 2017 Road King,
Right. What are you doing here? You're giving an award? Are you doing an award here?
This is I think it's a Cycle Source show, and Bill Dodge. Thunder Press picked one of Bill Dodge's bikes as, I can't even remember the class, but that's me up on stage giving the award to Bill and with Jack's shit. And that's another fun thing. I got to be up on stage a lot, introducing, giving awards, this, that. That was a lot of fun. That was fun. It was more fun than the corporate speeches I had to give in front of 2,000 people, let me tell you.
I was going to say, you know what? You're perfect. And there's, I think that's right around, I met you when you had that red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks ago it was blue. A month before that it was purple, and then it was pink. So I'm just, I got bored.
That sounds like COVID boredom.
Yeah.
Rob says, "Hey Marj, Mark was at the shop today. Were your ears burning?"
So this is of course our beloved Gloria Tremont and Struck, and this was at her nephew's dealership, Bob Tremont and HD, and this was Adam Sandoval on scooter when Adam was doing that tour to all the Harley dealerships around the country. That was like, I don't know, 4 years ago. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Gloria was great. You know, she would come out to participate in garage parties or whatever other events Tremonton had. You might as well not even have had another speaker because Gloria would pack the room with like 300 people. And the stories that woman can tell, oh my God, I felt sorry for anybody else who also had a
she's a rock star. She's a rock star, and I think actually she may be coming out to Sturgis with me. So
that's
I'll be
awesome.
going with her. She says she's going with me.
I hope she does. I hope she
We're
does.
thinking about it. Yeah, we'll see how she does. But definitely it wouldn't be the same without her for me. I love her.
This was a shot that Michael took on a Cycle Source ride in 2019. We were on our way to Spearfish, I guess. Or on our way
actually to Nemo, I believe.
Nemo? Okay, Nemo then.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Steve Brown says it's always good to see you no matter what color your hair, Marge.
You know, I wonder if maybe we could go through a number of pictures fairly quickly because we got to get to Paula because you know, we got to talk about where you are today and what you're doing and what's happening, where you're going. So let's cruise through a few of these next pictures here. Again, this is from Nemo. I took that one, you and Nemo, and then I took this next one at your Thunderpress party at the Motorcycle Museum.
Right, this was a Thunderpress 25th anniversary party that we joined with the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum. We had a great party there. We had food and drink sponsors. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of
great party.
And that's Felisa Morgan. Wait, can you go back? I'm sorry. Can you go back? That's Felisa Morgan.
That's when you first met her?
Right.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep, Felicia. Everybody,
Cool.
Felicia Morgan. Yep, that was a fun night. I remember that well.
All righty, so let's screen through a few more of these so we can get to Paula.
Okay, that was Splitting Lanes and Dodge and Gutters. This was Gerard Fox's show at the Brooklyn Bowl in Brooklyn. It's an awesome bike show, and the bikes outside were every bit as good as the ones inside. So this was shot by my boyfriend Alan Magyar. You know, you could see me in the background there doing my thing. So
what's this next picture?
Watching tonight, but hi, if you're there.
I love the next one with the little mini bike thing with the kegger and
this was at the very last smoke out. This was smoke out 20. Again, that's Alan, and that was Tim Gillet's little mini bike with the sidecar made out of a keg. So that was a lot of fun. I was so sad that the smoke out ended. That was it. 2019 was the end of it. So
you never know.
It was a good run. You never know.
Yep. It was a good run.
The next one in front of the National Hobo Museum.
That's right. That Missy and I rode back from Sturgis a few times together, and I think Milwaukee Mike clued us into that. You gotta stop at the Hobo Museum. That was so awesome. Oh, I actually did a story in Cycle Source about that. That ended up.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. The next one, you won a trophy for your FXR, right?
That was my first and only trophy because it was the only time it had been in a bike show. That was in 2017. Indian Larry Grease Monkey Block Party.
That's so cool.
2017, 2018. I don't know. Anyway, 2017. So the FXR won Best Vintage, which kind of surprised me. I was really happy about it. But those guys with the meticulous panheads and knuckleheads, they're like scratching their heads. But
it's an FXR.
Liked FXRs.
Yeah, people love them, definitely. And then you're at the Buffalo Chip here, giving an award or getting an award. I think you're getting an award.
I don't see the picture yet, but anyway, that's me getting an award. That was the year of our Thunderpress 25th anniversary, and Buffalo Chip awarded me the Motorcycle Moxie Award, and Chris was awarded one also for the 20th year of Cycle Source. Remember that, Chris?
Oh,
yep,
awesome!
That was killer.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
That was great. It's hanging on my wall. It's one of my prized possessions.
And the next picture is you and Trish. We love Trish. Trish is an awesome writer.
Oh, we did Babes
Great
Ride
people.
Out. We did Babes Ride Out East Coast. And Trish this is the other fun part of being a motorcycle journalist, is Trish was reviewing cookware and a lot of gear. So I tended the fire and she cooked us gourmet meals the whole weekend. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. So that story, that appeared in American Iron magazine. So
That's cool. That's
Trish,
nice.
if you're there, we got a ride soon.
Right.
And here
And
is,
then Michael, we get into you want to talk about Paula a little bit, I guess? You didn't know me as well, but I know. Go ahead.
many of you are familiar with Pulsating Paula. Paula was from New Jersey, and she was the photographer for Biker Lifestyle and Tattoo magazine in the early 80s through the 90s. And I met Paula probably a dozen years ago. I mean, I always knew who she was, and we had communicated through Facebook, through social media. And I finally met her at the dealership where she was working. And it was so amazing. It was like we'd known each other forever, the way we connected. I found out years later that this happens with a lot of people. She's just such an amazing person. There's such a light about her. And around the end of 2013, she said that people were after her to write a book. She should write a book. She had such an interesting life and just such talent, such skills with her photography. But she's like, I'm not a writer. I can't write a book. Will you write it? And I said, no. I said no because I had a full-time job and a part-time job, which I still have. I had like a side hustle, which I still had, not in the motorcycle industry, but we continued to talk about it. I said, all right, you know what? Let's do some interviews and we'll see where that goes. So I did a series of video interviews with her, and she told me about her life. And she worked like 17, 18 years as a go-go dancer, basically in clubs in New Jersey. She documented the lifestyle. And the cool thing about Paula is, I like to say, I don't know if you call it gonzo journalism, like what we did at Thunder Press. That's what Terry Roeder always considered us, as gonzo journalists. You're part of the story. You're telling the story from a first person perspective. You're in it. You're part of it, and you can affect the story too. Well, that's kind of how Paula was. Paula was part of the scene, part of the lifestyle, and she was partying with everybody, and the camera was something she did for fun. She made money hand over fist. They paid her a lot of money for her photographs, but that's not why she did it. That's not why she did it at all.
And she loved it. Let's roll some of these photos if we can.
Yeah.
Paula, I know it's number 23.
So anyway, this is when I first met Paula. This was in 2009 at the dealership where she worked. She was I think she was working in F&I at the dealership. So and right around this might have been at Atco Raceway in New Jersey. So this was from.
Let's make that shot a little bigger. Can we fill the frame maybe?
That's an interesting shot. A lot going on there.
Can you go to a single frame there, Chris?
Going on there. There's a lot going on. So the cool thing about Paula is that she made people, the way that she approached people trusted her and they revealed themselves to her. They let her photograph them in their natural environment, I guess. She
was one of them,
She was one of them,
part of the group, so.
And she had this persona, this charm, this. She was all about peace and love, She's basically a hippie. Peace, love, so people trusted her. She was able to move among the different worlds without. There was, she got herself in trouble a few times, but for the most part, she photographed clubs, and these were clubs that were not aligned with each other, and she moved between the tattoo world and the dancing world and the
right. Did you know her, Mike? Did you ever meet Paula?
I met Paula in 1985 at the Harley Rendezvous. and
Right.
she was doing her thing. I think she was walking around topless, going up to guys and taking pictures. So she certainly got expressions and a lot of attention. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, I really didn't interrupt. I was doing my thing. She was doing hers. We
Right.
talked a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think a couple of other occasions, but I did not know her at all.
Yeah,
really.
I kind of, same with me. I kind of ran into her at a few events and we did speak a few times, but I didn't really hang out with her much.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad. How old was she when she passed there?
Paula passed away in December 2019, and she was 65 when she passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that,
Um,
because
yeah.
that's just the age that maybe she would have been thinking about retiring, going through her own work herself. But it's so
Mhm.
wonderful. Look at this photograph here; it's great.
That's
This is
a great
Eddie
shot.
Hobart, one of her
Can we go
favorite
to
subjects.
Can we go to a single shot where it just fills the entire video screen, Chris Kellen?
That's so cool.
That's the whole screen. That's what I.
That's it.
No,
That's
I mean
it.
where we don't see Chris and we just see the photo. Can't do that.
I just see
No,
the photo.
that's just a photo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
seeing something else. All righty,
This is
no worries. I don't know what I'm seeing then.
this is Eddie. This is Eddie Hobart. He's one of her favorite subjects, and Eddie built that bike. He worked. I think he worked at one of the dealerships in Central Jersey. Yeah, he's still around. He's still around. But yeah, this shot. She was contacted by I forget which network. They were doing a series on outlaw bikers, and they contacted her, and she sent them 6 or 8 photographs to use. So her photography has been on one of those outlaw biker expose shows,
That's cool.
which is pretty cool.
The next one is really neat. It's at Pub 44. I can see that.
Yes, yeah.
Daytona.
So
Mhm.
that was Daytona. Might have been the early 90s. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. Yeah. But that was the days. Things were pretty wild then. Anyway, the last couple of years of her life, when I left Thunder Press in 2019, I called her up, we met for lunch, and she said, let's do the book. And I said, okay. After she passed, she had made arrangements to get me all her negatives. And I don't even know how many thousands of negatives. I'm in the process of getting them scanned. It's a really slow process, and it's really super expensive, but I want to get good photography. I want to get the best I can with her. So, I mean, there's more besides the book that I'm doing. There are other things I'll be doing as well to help promote the book, but I don't want to announce it yet. You'll see things later this year. I set up a secret Facebook page, which I'm not publicizing yet. Yeah, so between her interviews with other people, her photographs, her slides, negatives, prints, and I have a lot of memorabilia.
It's a big responsibility, Marj, but I know that she believed in you.
This is one of her cameras. This is one of Paula's cameras.
So cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
not her first one. A friend of hers has that. But do you see how the film canisters are just taped on the strap? Michael, did you do that?
Of course, we all did it. Yeah. So how much of your future is going to be tied in with Paula's past?
More and more every day. More and more
I mean,
every day.
do you see it as being almost a full-time job, or just something you're doing on the side a little bit?
It's gonna get to be a full-time job. There's a lot to sort through. There's just so much to be done. There's a lot to do. And there's the marketing aspect of it. I have a tremendous amount of help from a lot of her friends, a lot of her associates, a lot of my friends. People are being extremely supportive, very, very supportive.
That's neat. It's like a whole archive you're going to be doing there of someone's life. And
I have the raw materials, and I'm actually creating the archives. This was at ATCO also. And I don't know, this shot just kind of grabbed me. She had such an eye. I could stand there, get the same shot, and it's not going to come out the same. She had such an eye for photography, and it was all self-taught. She was just a natural. She didn't go to school for it. Her setup was a black cloth from like, Kmart or something. And she had these horrendous lights that she used for a studio, and they were sun lamps. And her subjects, the lights would burn the shit out of them. It was like, but it was her kind of makeshift studio, and that's kind of what she did,
I just loved her black and, it's obviously black and white. I just always loved black and white, and she was so good at black and white. Yeah.
You mentioned in pre-show a little bit about Paula and the art world of New York. Can you tell me anything about her involvement with the art world in New York?
I can. She started going to the tattoo conventions and met the two guys that formed the New York Tattoo Society, Clayton Patterson and Ari Rusumoff. And Clayton and others have these awards for artists in New York City, the Acker Awards. And Paula got an Acker Award for photography the very first year the awards were created. She was also in a movie called Shadows in the City that Ari did in, oh my God, like 1989 maybe. I'm trying to get a copy of it. It was on film. It was never digitized as far as I know. So, I mean, I'm in touch with all these people, and they're helping a lot. She also,
I can't wait to see where this goes, Marj.
Oh yeah, I want to show you something else. I don't know if you ever heard of Annie Sprinkle. Annie she was a porn star and a sex worker, and also became a sex educator, and really kind of changed the way that people look at sex as a culture. So Annie did a card deck, postmodern pinups. Annie Sprinkle's postmodern pinups.
Wow.
And Paula was the 4 of spades.
We have that picture here too.
We've seen that before.
Yeah.
But it's
Number 24.
Yeah, we have it.
We
I
can
think
see
we
it
can
bigger.
put that up. I mean, it's not a family show, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Okay.
It's
Well,
okay.
it's kind of curious to see what happens. It's interesting. I've seen this happen with, there was an artist here in Boulder that actually there's a couple, they're quite famous, one for painting and one for pottery, and their daughter died tragically. It was a suicide, and she was an artist in New York. She died at like 21, and they've actually taken her art, and it's become this whole thing now where her art is sold and for pretty good money. It's kind of bizarre that this whole thing legacy happened truly because it was her parents' interest in doing that. But in a sense, you're doing that with Paula.
Oh,
There it is.
Creating a legacy.
Our wonderful engineer is pulled it right
Yes.
up. That's
I
awesome.
didn't even know you could still buy those. Wow.
Go back to that. What's the price on that? Is that like a collectible for hundreds of dollars or something? Or
I think it's
probably
out
pretty
of print.
rare.
Oh, out of print. Yeah.
Oh, on the print. There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it Amazon? Yeah, that's funny.
So,
What can't get on there?
what we're thinking about doing is some merchandising also, and that will also help raise money for the book. So
That's a
we have
good
that
idea.
to look forward to. Yeah,
Very cool. Well, keep us posted, Marj.
absolutely.
We want to hear about it, and we can come back again when the book comes out. We'll talk about the book. How about that?
For sure.
That would be so fun. Definitely. Well, we have one more picture. I don't know if we can show it or not. The one of Paula is a little girl, and then
In 3 ages, yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
this picture.
right.
That's
Paula is a little girl. Paula is a dancer, and then Paula, that's maybe 10 years old.
Did she put this together?
She put when Paula stopped going to events to cover events. She passed away from cancer, and she hadn't been that well the last few years. And what she was doing after she stopped working for magazines was she started doing a lot of Photoshop work, and she would take old photos and restore them for people. She would do a lot of then and now. where maybe she took a photo of that person in the 80s and then she'd take another one now and kind of put them together, like both of them sitting on a bike, the same person.
Right. Hey, so one of our viewers, Holly Perry, wants to know, is there a time frame for the book?
I don't have a time frame yet, but I sure hope it's sometime this year.
Okay, well, you'll keep us up to date, and we'll definitely.
I will absolutely keep everybody up to date. Yeah.
All right, Marj. I hope we see you. I don't know when I'm going to see you, but I hope we see you soon. And I want to thank you for coming on. And it's been always a pleasure. And I love you. Thank you for working on Cannibal Chronicles. So I know you work behind the scenes there to help those guys.
There's a lot of work there every week. Who do you have on? Yeah. Who's your guest tomorrow night, Marj?
Tomorrow night's guest. Oh, geez, I'd have to look. Tomorrow night's guest is Jeff Milburn.
Jeff's cool. Jeff is awesome. He's the stunt.
Yeah, he's a stunt driver, stunt rider. Yeah.
For Hollywood. I mean, he does riding, but actually mostly in cars or trucks. So, and he was in that film. What's the film called that he was in a few years ago?
I don't know, but he's super cool. I didn't know who he was, but
he's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
Right. I think he did The Chase, did he not?
Yes, he did The Chase.
Yeah, he did The Chase. I didn't know who he was. I was like, that guy's super cool. Yeah.
So, Marj, you want to go over where people can get in touch with you and find you, even though we've told them already?
My Facebook page, it's facebook.com/ you can just do at Shadowlight Media. And when there's something on it, I'll let you guys know what my other Facebook page is. I have a company called Pulsating Shadows. Pulsating
wow, that's great.
Shadows.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. I love it.
That's the publishing company for the book. So I'll be doing some promotions on that, but there's not anything ready yet. So I'll let you know when it is.
Well, good luck. You got your work cut out for you, but I think Paula knew the right person for the job. So
I hope so. I'm going to do right by her.
All right. Well, thanks, Marj. We'll catch up with you soon. I don't know where, but
thanks, guys.
We'll see you in Sturgis if not sooner.
See you then, if not sooner. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
That was so cool.
Yeah. You know, for most of the show, I thought I was not on it because I had some really weird views. So I was probably, if you had me on, I was probably like looking all over the place on the screen because I didn't think I was on. But now I see I was on. Oh well.
You know, you were there. You're in on it.
I know. So I wasn't aware that I was there. So that's even worse. But you know, I want to thank. We've had a lot of our regular viewers back. I just see Pat Thurston. It was kind of hard to keep up with all the messages tonight. But and Lisa Ballard was there. Who else was on? We had a lot of regular guests.
Reference was on. Our friend Jenny from Mad Maps.
Yes, and Jenny commented. You know, a number of people commented when we were talking about what happened to motorcycle journalism and curated journalism, things like that. There were a lot of comments about that.
Cool.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for their comments, and it's great. And next week, you want to talk about next week's guest?
Sure. Who's our guest next week? Is it Brittany?
Okay. Just
Brittany Morrow. Brittany Morrow, guys. You'll love her.
Brittany Morrow.
So cool.
Why don't you tell our guests a little bit about who's coming then?
I just did. I said we had Brittany Morrow on. Yeah.
Who is she?
Brittany Morrow is called, she's kind of nicknamed herself the Road Rash Queen. If anyone knows her, she had a horrific accident and came back and has made her life so amazing. Just rides all over, and you know, she's not telling you what to do with wearing gear, but she just tells her story in such a great way that you just have to really admire who she is.
A very compelling story at that. So and inspiring, as it says right there. She's and we'll forewarn viewers, there are some X-rated photos coming in next week, but not for sex. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it's part of the story, but she's great. And then we want to thank our sponsors tonight, SNS Cycles.
I'm sorry?
Dennis Kirk, SNS Cycles tonight, our sponsors, and Torque Performance. The new show's coming up on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be happening. And International Female Ride Day is coming up on Saturday. Don't forget that one. Ellie Raines ride this week. And Michael Lichter's website. I just saw that up there.
Thank you. And Chris's website, be sure to visit for books and photos. And in 2 weeks, we got a great guest that's coming on. That'll be Kaylin Thorian. And for anyone that doesn't know her, she's got 175,000 Instagram followers, and she's quite the adventure person. Sponsored rider. Harley's sending her one of their new adventure bikes to ride and report on, but she's actually sponsored by an adventure company. So that's going to be a really exciting show with great photography too. She's a really good photographer.
Yeah, that'll be
Looking
fun.
forward to that.
A lot of good things in store for you guys. But thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, Cyclesource Media Group. Thank you, Michael Lichter.
And thank you, Chris. We'll see you next week.
Let's see you guys next week. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.